All right, we are live. We are live. Welcome into KU Club Baseball on the KU Club Baseball YouTube channel. Mason Kuntz alongside AJ Niergardner here at 3-2 East Complex. I will start by saying we have had some battery trouble with our cameras. We're working on charging those batteries. We're going to start off radio style. So bring it into AJ.
Yes, we are. Yep, we got, it appears, Owen McGovern on the mound to start today. Righty. Little three-quarter arm slot to start the day. Orloff at first. Jordan at second. Usalis at third. And O'Doherty rounding out the infield. Mullen left. Greenfield center. And Relian in right. Charlie Marshall behind the plate.
A lot of the same guys back from last year, some new names. Owen McGovern on the mound, the McGovernor, they refer to him as, kind of the ringleader of this team, plays the coach and player role, fits that job. KU in baby blue up and down, their royal blue hats, the Warhawk logo, script, cursive, white Jayhawks lettering across the chest. For Creighton, the classic navy jerseys with the blue, baby blue accents, the piping, white pants, and white Creighton lettering across the chest. This is the first and only game of the day. We will play 9 innings. That will be AJ and myself with you for this one. And then tomorrow, we'll start at 10 a.m., have 2 games, 10 and 12:30, same place, same channel, but that will be me and Luke Neerling with you tomorrow.
All right.
So it'll be the second baseman, Colin Bentley, to lead it off for Creighton, standing in that right-handed batter's box, donning the number 18. First pitch is a breaking ball, misses just outside, and we are officially underway. This is our first game on the air for the season. Beautiful weather. We're in the press box. Called strike 1, 1-1.
It is beautiful weather. 59 degrees, not too much wind, at least for us as in the press box, but doesn't seem like there's too much. Just a slight breeze out to center field.
1-1. That is a fastball, misses just up and away, close. Maybe a ball and a half off the plate. So the 2-1 from the McGovernor. Chopped down to third, and it's going to roll foul.
Just missed the line.
That evens count at 2-2. And I got AJ here. He's going to have to remind me, stay on my job, running the scoreboard. And if you remember from last year, I had sometimes a hard time remembering to do that.
It's all about improvement. That's what it's about.
Breaking ball down, fills the count 3-2. And you might remember the coined term of the season was that is club baseball, full count. Called strike 3 on the inside half of the plate. Bentley is down to start the game.
Nice breaking ball there that Just kind of froze up the batter. He thought it was a little inside, but umpire's final rule, strike 3.
And it did look inside from where we're at, but also I would say the 2-2 pitch that just missed looked close enough, so maybe it all evens itself out.
Sure does.
So 1 down for John Frost, the catcher, wearing the number 2, and he takes the first pitch for a ball. This one's fouled back behind us.
Creighton, their last time out was a wallop over Missouri S&T, a 22-2 win.
This is a beatdown, 20 runs.
Sure is.
That's club baseball. You never know what you're going to get. This one is lined down the third base line, fair. Rounding first is Frost. He's on his way to second, and he will have a stand-up double. Early man in scoring position for the Blue Jays.
Nice rip just past the third baseman. I believe left fielder Zach Mall fell to the ground there, let the ball get past, making Frost able to get to second base on that one standing up.
Just tightrope that line. Good contact. Perfect placement.
Frost gets rid of all the luggage at second base.
So for the 3-hole, it is Carter Galante, the Blue Jays left fielder, standing in that right-handed batter's box. First pitch he sees is a breaking ball called strike 1. Light breeze coming in from center field. The 0-1 misses low. And I want to take a second, give a shout out to my partner here for the added bonus he brings to our broadcast, coming in with scorecards, lineup sheets. He's done his homework. This one's popped out foul.
I do what I can, man. I do what I can. You know, I got a nice mentor, Blaine McCormick out of Richmond, Virginia. He's the play-by-play broadcaster for the Richmond Flying Squirrels.
There you go.
So he gives me a lot of good advice. These are actually his templates that he uses. So shout out to him. Very good mentor of mine.
1-2 to Galante. It's outside. Brings this great organization, something that we did not have nearly to this level last year. It was kind of hit or miss. But we do what we can.
That's club baseball.
2-2 is a breaking ball, doesn't break enough, misses high, and another full count. We've got to look to keep the pitch count low. That was one of the main big issues for the Jayhawks last year. Full count into the screen, and we'll try it again.
It's a good battle by Galante. Just fighting off a 2-strike pitch. Don't necessarily have to put it in play in that situation. Just fight it off, live for another pitch.
Get one that you can hit. Get your pitch, get a fastball, base hit, ball 4. That's the strategy. Another payoff pitch. In the air, shallow right center field, going back into the Bermuda Triangle, and it's going to fall. Frost wasn't running. He couldn't get a great read on it, and that kind of triangle there behind the second baseman, shallow right center field, tough play.
Tough play indeed, and the wind seems to have changed since the first pitch. It's now blowing a little harder towards left field, as first pitch it was blowing straight back to center. But like you said, it's a tough area.
We got the beautiful stars and stripes helping us with the wind direction in center field. First pitch is fouled into the catcher, Charlie Marshall. That's a stinger, so umpire will take a short, slow walk out to the mound, hand the ball, give Marshall a chance to recover. Men on first and second, top of the first, 1 out. Kansas and Creighton. And this is Peyton McMillan, the right fielder, wearing number 9 for the Blue Jays. And a called strike 2 on the breaking ball. And the McGovernor seems to be that his breaking ball is working today. He's thrown at most of the pitches that he's offered up. Oh, 2 to McMillan, just up.
It's a good idea there. Go breaking ball for a strike and then try to get him to chase, get McMillan to chase on the high fastball. Didn't work that time.
It's a good pitch, good bait pitch. 1-2. Little flare into center field, but it's right at the center fielder. He makes the grab, 2 away.
I think he took 2 steps there to make that catch. I'm not sure he had to move very far at all.
Doesn't get much more of a can of corn than that, and that is Eli Greenfield in center field making the play. So 2 on, 2 out for Drew Oleshko in the 5-hole. For the Blue Jays, center fielder. Tall. Chop to short. 1 hop will go the easy way to second. That'll end the inning. A couple of base runners. No runs for the Blue Jays to the bottom of the first. KU coming up. Bottom half of the first inning, Grant O'Doherty leading off for the Jayhawks. The shortstop in their baby blue uniforms up and down. Said earlier, we don't have our camera batteries charged. The J School gave us dead ones, so we're working on charging those. We'll start off radio style here for a little bit. Nick Johannes on the mound for Creighton, and he breaks off a breaking ball that missed. It looked good to me from where we're at, but maybe a small zone from the umpire. The 0-1, just inside.
hitter ump, some like to call it. You get your hitter umps, you get your pitcher umps.
I don't appreciate that as a PO myself. This one misses low, and it's 3-0 count, and Johannes in danger of a leadoff walk. Somebody on our left side said, "Where was that?" Honestly, a great question. This one is inside and a 4-pitch walk for O'Doherty to lead it off.
And that one could have been a strikeout.
Could have been.
You get a different umpire in there. That could have been a 4-pitch strikeout, maybe a 3-pitch strikeout, but not this one.
We'll get a look at the left fielder, number 22, Zach Mall, standing in the left-handed batter's box. And there is a called strike one. Give a chance for AJ. We were talking between innings and was talking about how he's a pitcher himself. And I told him, I said, last inning, and you were talking about the chase pitch. Got me excited. This one misses in the dirt, evens count 1-1. But love somebody. We love our pitchers. We love our POs, as one myself. So give AJ a second here to talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I played 4 years on the varsity team in high school, so I was accustomed to pitching in big spots and things like that. So I've had my experience as a pitcher. You learn different things, different pitches and locations, and it just kind of you kind of learn things as you go. But it's been playing baseball all my life, so it kind of helps to now as a journalist to have that background and be able to do things like this. Between
that, we had a check swing in the dirt. It was a full swing, and now a called strike 3. And Maul thinks it might be 2, but it is 3, and that is how Nick Johannes gets his first out of the day. So now to the 3-hole, Alex Raylene, number 12 in the right-handed batter's box. Johannes has found his groove, or at least starting to. Starts off with a strike on the first pitch.
Sure has. As we go back to that pitcher mindset, I can't go without saying the two-seam run that Johannes has on his fastball. Whether that was the two-seam itself or just he has natural run, but it's a good sight to see.
This one is high in the air right field, battling the sun, but he's under it, makes the play. In a fairly simple catch, but with that sun, nothing is easy. Nonetheless, there are 2 down. You mentioned that run on that two-seamer, and great way. You run it inside, get little jam shot flares of ground balls. That's the key. No pitch you want to be flat, and certainly not flat here.
Absolutely.
In the slide step, line drive, center field, and it's going to hang up there. Good contact, but right at the center fielder. That will end the inning. No score after 1. to unmute myself. Ready to go in the top of the second inning. No score. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 for Creighton. We have the left-handed hitting Drew Powers, the designated hitter. First pitch he sees is a slider in there for strike one.
There's that breaking ball again. Just seems to be comfortable with it early. Sometimes pitchers going back to it have to settle in, but
swings through this one quickly behind 0-2, and McGovern, you kind of mentioned, seems it's going backwards, pitching backwards, and a lot of guys that works, and Greg Maddux style.
right.
Not always about speed. It's about hitting spots, moving your pitches, mixing them up, and McGovern's done a great job of that. 0-2. Nice pitch, but it's just inside and looked just the same as the first pitch that was called a strike. So maybe a little bit of inconsistency. 1-2.
As you said, the legendary Greg Maddux, he quoted, "Nobody cares how hard you throw a ball for."
If my dad's watching, he'd be so happy to hear that. He likes to talk about that. And I believe it was spring training game I was watching. It might have been the Nationals, but in their bullpen, called strike 3. So before I was rudely interrupted, it was the Nationals bullpen, and they had a poster on their wall with that exact quote, "Nobody cares how hard you throw a ball for." Great thing to live by.
It's good philosophy.
So one down for Brady Schmidt, the third baseman, with the number 17 on his back. And he lines this one back up the middle. Tough play. Second baseman fires over, and he makes the play. Beautiful play. 2 outs. That is Adam Jordan ranging over behind that second base bag. Had enough time. Tough play.
It's a great play. Going the opposite way of where you're going to throw. Getting a throw in on time. And a good stretch by the first baseman, Justin Orloff.
Especially when you're going the wrong way, too. It's tough to get good mustard on that ball to get it over. Tough throw, tough play. Made it look easy. 2 down. Line drive. And that one will fall into center field, and that is Elijah Guffey, the first baseman. First pitch hacking.
Good piece hitting right back up the middle. I thought that might have been able to give Jordan another play at second base, but it was far too high.
Perfect placement, just over his head, just short of the center fielder. So back to the top is Colin Bentley. First pitch he sees is a ball. And now a called strike on that outside half. I see AJ kind of shaking his head. We're trying to figure out where we're looking here for the strike zone. Hopefully they don't hear us.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Hard to judge where this zone is today, but it's good for us. We're not the ones that would be struck out by it or lose a batter 4 pitches in a walk.
We're just observing the game. We're telling you what is happening.
Yeah.
So 2-1, hacked on and missed, and another breaking ball and another good one.
It's working well for him today. I've said it before and I'll say it again. He's comfortable with it. He's gonna go back to it soon, I'm sure.
2-2. Cut on and missed, another punch out. Pitching and defense so far, no score. To the bottom of the second we go. Here comes the wind. Bottom half of the second. And before we start, just wanted to let you know we had an error on our part. That last out of the inning was Charlie Schlegel, the 9-hole. We had our lineup card wrong, so we thought we were back to the top. So however you want to score that, maybe an E10, error on the broadcasters.
It's a good way to score it. That's what I'd give it.
And a called first strike to start the inning. And this is, if I can see a number, Adam Johnson on the ground to short. Easy play. Score that one 6-3. Put out. To start the inning.
I'll
So-
take full responsibility for that error last inning, but now we're moving on. This is club baseball.
That'll give us Eli Greenfield, the center fielder, standing in the left-handed box. First pitch he sees misses down and away, and AJ's learning quickly how we use the term of club baseball around here. Nothing is perfect, that's all right. We're just learning. We're practicing, getting the reps. This one's fouled back into the screen.
Sure am. I sure am. You know, it's just grateful to be able to have this opportunity. You know, this is fun. This is nice.
Nobody will hold it against you. We're just in the gym chucking up shots right now. Maybe in the cages, better fits. Next pitch is a breaking ball inside to Greenfield. And the 2-1. This one's fought off to third, and it gets through. Tough play on a short hop for the third baseman, Schmidt. But I would give him a hit for that. I think it was a tough play.
I would also give him a hit there. You know, it's a tough play, but also didn't get a glove on it. So I believe the scorer's decision would still give him a hit.
One out for Keelan Tunnel, the designated hitter today, and one on. This one's inside, a little jam into the screen. Fouled back.
You know, on a colder day, that might sting a little more. But I think he's got the batting gloves, he's got the grip tape. I think he's all right.
If you know anything about Rex Hudler, the Royals play-by-play or color commentator on TV, so there's a breaking ball misses up, and he would call that a jam sandwich. And he always has, I'm biased because I'm a Royals fan, but he has the best one-liners. Pick move to first, and we've seen that a few times now from Johannes.
He's not afraid to go over there.
Those are our pitchers. We will tell you it's good. You gotta keep them in check. Called strike 2. Holding runners is just as important as throwing strikes, because if you can't hold a runner, they're just gonna run all over you and probably not gonna reflect how you want it on the scoreboard. That one misses up high.
A lot of people like to blame stolen bases on the catcher, but it's also on the pitcher and also sometimes on the first baseman. Bad communication over there, but also the pitcher has to get home quick enough.
Called strike 3, and that's right down the middle for 2 outs and out of the slide step there. And just again to say how he's doing an excellent job out there of managing the game and the pace. Keep everyone on their toes. So 2 down for Jack Usalis, the third baseman. Now the runner goes. Pitch is low. The throw is not in time. Maybe he dropped the ball. It was a good throw.
That throw looked like he placed that right on the perfect side of the bag, the perfect height, right on the bag, but not sure the catch was made.
We don't have the best angle back here. We're directly behind the plate, and so kind of blocked by the umpire and the catcher and the pitcher and the batter. Strike 1 for Usalis. And I did it again. I forgot to put the first ball on the scoreboard, and we were talking about that. It's tough. So many moving parts of putting on a good broadcast, and that one's punched over into the right field pin, maybe outside down the line. Foul.
I think that one might have had a chance of hitting the street closer than the bullpen.
Watch your cars, you're never safe. 1-2, chopped down the line, foul, and a beautiful play by the first base coach over there.
Very nonchalant, some would say.
Barehanded grab in the coach's box. Somebody's always watching. You can't miss that play.
That's what we'd call an E10 in high school. They ground ball to one of the first or third base coaches.
1-2 is away, so if you score that E10 in high school, in our world, are we scoring that in E11 or are we 11 since we made an error 2?
Or are we E12 because you have the first base coach, E10. Third base coach, E11.
Pop fly center field and another can of corn for Oleshko. Makes the grab. So still pitching and defense. No score through 2. Sound. Top half of the third inning getting ready to start. Back up top now. This time it actually is Colin Bentley. Struck out looking his first time up. First pitch he sees misses way outside, and we're talking between innings how this has so far been a mirror opposite of what went down last year against Creighton, called strike 1. We were up there, me and Trevor, in Omaha, and their field, if you are unfamiliar, is just like a multi-purpose. It's like a soccer field. Ball down and in, and It was probably 1,000 feet to center field, obviously exaggerating, but there was not a chance. It was a perfect square. So it was 320 down the line. Little squibber between the pitcher and the catcher. And the McGovernor makes the play. PFP, ladies and gentlemen. Pitcher fielding practice in the game. Love to see it. Pitchers are athletes too.
Pitchers are athletes. I was just going to say that. Perfect.
And as I was saying, it was cold and it was windy. And there was a lot of scoring, particularly for Creighton. They swept us in that series. Run rule in the first two games, and on that Sunday game, it ended a lot closer. I think the score was along the lines of 9-6, maybe. But it doesn't matter in sports. You can lose by 100 or you lose by 1. It all goes down the same.
Very true.
Catcher Frost. This one misses away.
And it's not a terrible team. You know, you never want to lose that bad to anyone. But if you're going to lose that bad, it's going to be to a team like Creighton last season that went all the way to the NCBA World Series. All the way, final two teams ended up losing to Penn State, who I believe was the top-ranked team in the NCBA.
Another breaking ball is low, 3-0. And do you know anything about where that game was played? That's Penn State and Omaha, Nebraska aren't exactly close.
I believe, if I do remember correctly, I believe it was played in St. Louis.
In St. Louis, so
I believe
as
that's
close as you can get to a home game for Creighton, I would suppose.
Unfortunately, didn't do him too many favors.
Sky high pop up out to right field. Ranging over is Raylene, and he makes the grab and quickly 2 away. We broke a unspoken broadcasting rule last inning, and AJ was saying how Trevor does it all the time. But you never start a story with 2 outs, so with 2 outs now, we are not going to start a story, which we failed to do last inning.
Sure did.
First pitch to Carter Galante is in the dirt. So far this inning, McGovern is kind of struggling with that first pitch strike. You always want to get the first one, and he misses inside here, 2-0. But it's so much easier to pitch ahead. When you're behind in the count, trying to claw back in, you're going to see a lot more fastballs and probably the most hittable pitch, I would say. Breaking ball in there for a strike.
Just as you say, you're going to see more fastballs. He tricks you and throws a curveball. That seems to be the way McGovern operates.
And another one. This one's swung through and started down 2-0, and he's back in it 2-2.
Claws back at the breaking ball. As we've said before, he's comfortable with it, so it's almost like his version of a fastball in terms of comfortability.
This one's on the ground to the left side, shortstop, backhand play in the dirt, and it gets by the first baseman all the way to the fence, and that's going to be an E6, and the runner advances. That's O'Doherty. It was a tough play, and I honestly don't know if he would have had him, but maybe you'd like to see him hold the ball there. Don't want to risk it with 2 outs.
You know, when I wasn't pitching, I was playing shortstop, so I'm never gonna blame it on the shortstop. I would have said, you know, we're at 3-2 East Complex. It's a nice turf field. Sometimes the shortstop would blame the first baseman, but you could be right. The play there might have been just hold it, cut your losses, and keep him at first base.
So I don't think you were telling the whole truth. You're not a true PO like me.
Not a true PO. No, when I wasn't pitching, I was playing short, but I definitely preferred pitching and thought of myself as a pitcher first.
But you at least recognize that the pitcher is the most important.
Absolutely. He's got the ball every pitch. Why do you think I wanted to pitch so bad?
You'll learn. You'll learn quickly. It's never the pitcher's fault.
Never.
1-0. Another breaking ball down, and this is McMillan in the cleanup spot, the right fielder for Creighton. Number 9 with the Silver Goods bat. That was the bat. Everyone had the goods when we were in high school. It's a good bat.
It is a good bat.
3-0.
It's a good bat for a guy like McMillan, hitting in the cleanup spot, outfielder. Probably more of a power hitter.
Dropping my bat knowledge, obviously, I didn't get to hold it a lot. Sky high pop up, shallow center field, and Greenfield kind of stumbles. He recovers, makes the play. That'll end the inning. Still no score. To the bottom half of the third we go.
Charlie Marshall.
Bottom half of the third here, and I really hope that we got that last half inning on the screen there because I forgot to change my tab back, but I had audio. Hopefully you guys heard that. This is Charlie Marshall, the catcher. The first pitch he sees is a called strike one, and now kind of an ugly swing. He tried to hold back but couldn't all the way, and then pitch in the wrong batter's box a little bit in the dirt. So he's down 0-2, but he's going to do his best to bring it back. And he hacks through this one, and 3-pitch strikeout to start the third.
Not a great start for the Jayhawks, looking to break the 0-0 tie. 3-pitch K to start the bottom of the third.
So back to the top, Grant O'Doherty, the shortstop, he walked his first time up. And this one misses just a little bit low for ball one. I had something I wanted to say. I'll come to it in a second. This one's chopped to third. Coming in, tough play in the dirt, scooped by the first baseman in time. There's 2 outs and a nice glove work by the third baseman Schmidt and a beautiful pick by Guffey. Quickly 2 down.
It's a great pick. That was almost an in-between hop there that Guffey scooped up off the turf, but it's a great play by both parties.
A little bit of a scary one. This one's into the screen for a foul ball. And I know I said I wouldn't start a story with 2 outs, but I remembered what I wanted to say, and it was that we plugged in our battery, and we're still not getting any kind of video, so we're not really sure what's going on. So we might just go radio the whole way. We'll try and figure it out. This one's back to the pitcher. Easy play. Jogs it over, flips underhand, and that will end the inning. To the fourth, still no score.
Talking to me, I was like, what did I
fourth now. I'm going to change that. Back here for the top half of the fourth inning. Between innings, we tried to get our camera going. We finally got it to work, and part of how club baseball goes, it's part of it. We have horrible lighting. The sun is right in our camera, so even if we did have it on, you wouldn't be able to see anything. So this first pitch misses away, so we're just going to do it radio style the whole way. So put in that AirPod. Do what else you were doing. You don't need to watch. Just listen. Line to third. Hot shot right to him. And a nice snag by Usalis in the hot corner.
That one was ripped. Not a lot of time between the crack of that bat, or the ping, I should say. It's not exactly a wood bat, but from the bat to the glove, not a long amount of time.
Maybe the guys in our broadcast truck can get you the exit velocity on that, running the stats. Who are we kidding? This is club baseball. The ball misses outside. Maybe that's a question for AD Goff.
There you go.
Send him an email like, hey, man, can you get us a broadcast truck? What do you think he would say?
Is he in?
On the ground to the right side, 2 steps, easy throw to first, and that is Adam Jordan. Sorry, I got too many papers here. We're still trying to weed it out a little bit. 2 down. Would he even respond to that email, AD Goff? I don't think so. I think that would be maybe too much of an ask.
Maybe a little bit.
He asked what our numbers are looking at. We'll tell him we have 2 viewers right now.
Shout out to them.
This one misses up and in. But those 2 viewers are the most important. Our viewers are always first, and so we got to give them the best experience that we can with our limited resources. On the ground to third. Salas fires across. 1, 2, 3 go the Blue Jays to the bottom of the fourth. Quick one so far. Still no score. Back here for the bottom half of the fourth inning. Still only 1 hit for the Jayhawks, and that came on a single from Alex Raylene in the second inning. Sorry, Eli Greenfield. And it is Alex Raylene batting. That's where I got confused. And the first pitch he sees is called strike 1, and now he cuts through another one behind 0-2. Somebody down to our left side said, keep filling up the zone, which is what Johannes has done virtually all game. Raylene is tick late on this one, punches it foul off to that first base side, and maybe that one's on the street again.
That one has a good chance. I know I said it earlier about the that one down towards the bullpen. That one had a good chance to get into the street.
0-2, and this time it's a breaking ball. He's in front of it, and he pulls this one down to the third base side, and maybe don't fully understand the logic behind that when you've got a guy as late as he was, and the next pitch you give him the off speed. Worked, but definitely a dangerous game to play. Maybe he was trying to bury it. This one's a fastball low.
Just asked by a fan if that was low, because we have a better vantage point than that. Because it appeared Creighton thought that was in the zone, but I think it was a little low. Catcher didn't do the pitcher any favors there, but
This one is in the zone. Called third strike. Raylene is down looking, and that's the first out of the inning. I had a coach in high school, Coach Duff. He was notorious. That was kind of his joke. He'd always talk about any question you had, he'd say, that's above my pay grade. And so maybe we're not the umpires, so if you have that question, that's above our pay grade.
absolutely.
We do our best to help out. This one's up and in on the first baseman, Justin Orloff. He lined out to the center fielder his last time up.
Yeah, we are definitely not the people to ask, but if someone wants to hear my opinion, I'll give it to him. My opinion, I thought that one could have been low, but nonetheless, went down looking. Next two pitch.
2-0 count. In there for strike one, and perhaps now is not the time for me to mention I do actually work here in the summertime at 3 and 2 as an umpire. So probably not helping my cause right now by saying that, but it's the truth.
It's a hard job. It's a hard job to have. You know, you're especially behind the plate. It's almost all judgment calls, which are never easy.
Full count. And that's one thing you're taught in umpire training. Anytime somebody gives you any trouble, you say, in my judgment, and you can't argue that. On the ground to short, and that one gets through. Looked like Schleg tried to kind of field that one off to the side, and that's going to bite him as it rolls into left center field. And Orloff is on.
Gonna give Schlage the error there. It appeared it caught his glove and it was hit right at him. No extraordinary effort needed to make that play, so it's gonna go down as an error in my scorebook.
No hometown scoring perks. Thought, maybe. I think it's hard to argue that one. That was clearly an error. Strike one. But sometimes you will see that a tough play goes in the direction of the home team side. So maybe that one would be ruled a hit. Not much argument there. So still only one hit for KU. This one's up. And I believe I'm missing a pitch. Is it 1-1?
I believe it is 1-1.
It is. Maybe I'm doing better than I thought.
We'll see when umpire gives his thing, but I believe it is 1-1.
This one's low, and thankfully, since you asked him to put his fingers up, he'll make sure not to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how it goes. Hey, Blue, don't put your fingers up. Don't tell us how many. This one's a called strike, and judging by Adam Jordan, he thought it was outside, tried to take first base, so I'm going to say it is a full count. Now, pick move. Orloff is back in safely.
He did show the count. The umpire did show the count, but of course from our view, we couldn't see it.
This one froze him, and he's visibly upset at that one. It ended up being right down the middle. Called strike 3. Now there's 2 down. Brilliant pitch, froze him, locked him up. Not much you can do. So with a man on first and 2 down, it is Eli Greenfield, still with the lone hit, and the first pitch misses away.
2 big strikeouts for Johannes in this one.
And another pick move.
This inning has been, pitching-wise, very good. You know, he's gotten 3 outs, but the error cost him a base runner.
This one misses just away, and I'll go quickly with 2 outs, but they teach you as a pitcher, use your defense, but where's the fun in that? It's more fun striking everyone out.
Absolutely.
Called strike 1, and obviously that's not possible, and no matter how good you are, unless you are maybe God himself, you're going to have to use your defense. This one's right at us. Look out.
It's a good thing there's netting and concrete. That's what I'm thankful for today.
I did still dive out of the way.
I will say, as there is no camera feed, we're going radio for this one. It wasn't necessarily right at us, but it was straight back.
Little chopper down the first baseline rolls foul. Nobody saw it, so it didn't happen, is I think the term you're looking for. So none of us moved, and it was right at us. But we knew there was a screen in front of us protecting us.
Exactly.
There was never a doubt.
Another foul ball in that last pitch is something you don't see very often as a pitcher. At least for me, I wasn't one to normally go after a ground ball that looked to be foul, but he might have thought it was fair there. Pitcher's defense.
Foul tip into the catcher's glove. He hangs on, and another strikeout for Johannes. And that is how the 4th inning ends. To the top of the 5th, no runs, a hit for KU, and an error for Creighton. Still no score. Owen McGovern and the McGovernor set to do battle for his 5th inning of work, and it's been pretty smooth sailing on both sides for these pitchers here. And if you're a fan of offense, this is probably not your game, but for me and AJ, this is our game. Pitchers don't like giving up runs. Breaking news, I know. 1-0. This one is in there for strike 1. I'll work on getting you a number. That's number 4 for Creighton, and that is Elijah Guffey, the first baseman. He chops this one to third, kind of bobbled, and there will be no throw from Usala for 32, the third base. Jack Usalis. I was right. was doubting myself. Didn't grab it cleanly, and that will cost a leadoff base runner for McGovern. And this is Charlie Schlegg, the shortstop. Squares to bunt, and it's a good one. Only play to first, McGovern, and it's low in the dirt. That's going to roll to the fence. They're not going to send the runner home, but another error, and that's going to be costly as there are men on second and third now with still nobody down.
Back-to-back errors for the Jayhawks there is not going to do them any favors in this low-scoring affair. Every run always matters, but especially in a scoreless game in the fifth inning. It's not going to do you good.
I think it's a little premature to say, since it is only the fifth inning, that whoever scores first wins, but you obviously don't want to give them away. And just like we were talking about how clean it's been, there's a couple of errors. On the ground to third, and it's just foul. And not to add insult to injury, but those two errors were from the 8 and the 9 hole hitters, and no disrespect to them, but not that you think they're guaranteed, but you feel you like your chances, maybe is what I'm looking to say.
Definitely better. Better than the top of the order or the heart of the order. Those are the guys you kind of want to attack more, and when you're giving outs, those are the ones you need to take.
Limit the free ones, that is for sure. So 1-1 to Colin Bentley. He's ahead of this one, fouls it off.
Infield corners are looks like just in front of the baseline, and second baseman and the shortstop are in a little. Shortstop looks to be at a normal position, but the second baseman seems to be a little more in with guys on second and third. No outs.
Corner's kind of on that grass. It's turf, so we don't technically not grass. This one's punched way out foul down the first base side, but kind of on that lip where the grass would meet the dirt on the turf.
Outfield as well. Not sure. Might be a little in, looking to get a double play or throw to home here.
1-2 to Bentley. Just away, and that one was out. I did see that one. That was on the chalk, maybe, of that left-handed batter's box. You mentioned the outfield depth, and haven't seen anything get too far out there yet, so I think you can cheat in until somebody burns you. Check swing. Did he go? No. Marshall puts the tag on him anyways.
It's a good sell. It's a good sell by the catcher Marshall to try to force a tag, sell it a little bit to the umpire, but umpire stands his ground, says batter did not swing.
Payoff pitch. On the ground to short, the runner will go. They throw to first, a high throw, but he's able to keep his foot on the bag. They'll trade it out for a run, and Creighton is on the board first.
RBI ground out there, but it's not going to be an earned run for the Jayhawks, as the base runner that scored got on base from an error.
At the very least, you got an out.
That is true, and that's what they're looking for.
And you have to score to win anyways, so being down one, obviously not the end of the world. This one's up high to John Frost, the catcher. Man on third, 1-0 Creighton in the fifth. Breaking ball's fouled back. Nice play by the umpire.
Blue with the fancy feet work there.
One hop off the screen. We love our umpires too. Not because I am one, but to Frost. He doubled in the first and flew to right. Flied?
Fly to center. Flew out to center. Either way.
I don't think flied's a word. My native language isn't perfect after almost 20 years in June. Misses outside. And this one beans him in the back. And Frost launches his bat. You take him any way you can get him, but with 3 balls, never want to get hit. Feels like you got cheated when it was going to be ball 4 anyway, and a little damage that you didn't necessarily have to take. Nonetheless, it is a base runner. Boosts the on-base percentage.
Almost took out his teammate on deck, who's now at the bat. Carter Galante with the bat. Tossed his bat towards the dugout, almost clipped him.
Frost kind of bluffs the steal a couple of steps like he was going to go, but he stays put. Might have been able to get it ball in the dirt. They're on the corners for Galante. The left fielder singled his first time up and reached on an error his second. And now McGovern will step off.
See if there's any antics here by Creighton with guys on the corners. Frost takes off. See what Kansas shows defensively.
They seem to be onto it. Another pick move, and if we're in the MLB, he doesn't get any more disengagements. An unsuccessful pickoff would be a balk. But this is club baseball, so we don't have those rules. Club baseball. Now he goes on the ground to short. Flip to second for 1. On to first. Double play. That'll end the inning. Beautiful defense. It goes 6-4-3 and only 1 in for Creighton to the bottom of the 5th. They now lead it 1-0. We are blazing along here in the bottom of the 5th. My stream says we've been live for only 74 minutes. So super quick so far. 7, 8, 9. Tunnel, Usalis, and Marshall due up for KU, and Tunnel takes one up and in.
A look of disapproval disapproval from Tunnel after that one.
He watches this one bounce in like a cricket pitch.
Fortunately, playing baseball, so that one's just a ball. And ruins the count.
Not a full count. There's only been 3 pitches. 3-0. We mentioned cricket, and I don't know anything about it. The 3-0 is in there, strike 1, so Tunnel is at least delayed for his walk by 1 pitch. But when I was in high school, for my club team, we'd practice out at home field in Kansas City. There's ball 4. And that's the one thing about doing it radio style. It's hard to, when you're on TV, you can let your story continue through the pitch because you can see what's happening. Obviously, we don't have that. Anyways, there was 5 cages every night that were rented out to people playing cricket, and they'd have the baseball pitching machines. Half swing, a full swing in the eyes of the umpire to Jack Usalis, but they would have normal hack attack pitching machines, but they would have them aimed at the ground, and they would just practice hitting, and it'd bounce in, and it looks scary and hard. Line drive over the second baseman's head. That's their second hit of the day. That is Usalis, and now KU is looking to answer. A little bit of noise coming from the bottom of the order.
Usalis, great piece hitting, just taking it up the middle, the other way, right over the second baseman's head, either way. And 2 on our board with no outs.
Some might say elite ball placement. Squares to bunt. And it's going to go foul out behind, kind of by us, but a little bit off to the right. I like the idea. Nobody out. You got your 9-hole up. Little sack bunt. Gets you 2 runners in scoring position for the top of the order coming up. Down by 1. Maybe get a single, take the lead, maybe more.
It's a great position to bunt here with the third baseman back as well.
He gets this one down in front of the catcher. The play is to third and the force, and it's not fielded cleanly. Third baseman Schmidt does a nice job to keep it in front of him. But the throw was low, and that will load the bases with nobody out in the top of the order. So they have a sack bunt play on, and it works out even better. Creighton doesn't get an out of it, and I think he had time to go to third, but it was going to be a tough play. It was going to be close. Bases loaded to the top of the order. That's O'Doherty. Takes strike 1.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, it's a great position. He didn't get the greatest bunt down that he might have liked, but it actually sort of worked in his favor as the catcher Frost went to third.
This one's yanked foul down the third baseline.
Frost went to third, so he was farther away, and that worked out in the Jayhawks' favor as it bounced. And Brady Schmidt wasn't able to field it cleanly, and Jayhawks have the bases juiced with no outs. In the bottom of the 5th, down 1.
Certainly threatening. The 0-2 to O'Doherty misses away. The corners are just a bit in, maybe a step or 2 in front of those bases. Middle infield at double play depth. Imagine if it goes to the corners, you go home to first, and this one's in the air to right field. First and second will tag. The play is made, and they hold the runners.
It's a smart play by the Jayhawks there. You got bases loaded with no outs, so no reason to force anything. A little bit shallow for a tag there, so everybody stays put.
You're bang on there. No reason to risk it. That's only your first out. I don't think it was deep enough, and maybe not up to don't fully know everyone's speed, so I don't know if how Tunnel would have fared. First pitch is fouled away, but bottom line, no reason to risk it.
Especially, the designated hitter Tunnel is today. He's hitting 7. That's not really a speed-specific spot in the order. Maybe if he was batting leadoff or the 2-hole, maybe the 9-hole.
chop to the pitcher. Can't make the play, and everyone is safe. And he kind of points up to the sun, does Johannes, and he says, I didn't see it.
Another error for Creighton, as that one's going to tie the game.
Maybe just a case of trying to do something with the ball before he had it. He looked like he wanted to go home, but never had the ball. And that is how Kansas gets on the board.
It's the second error of the inning. First one coming on the bunt that loaded the bases.
Standing in is Alex Raylene. He lines this one to center field, camped under it, makes the grab. They will tag. And Tunnel is in to score. KU takes the lead. Catch made by Drew Oleshko.
Jayhawks have taken the lead late in this one. Got punched in the mouth, one would say, and punched right back in the bottom half of the fifth.
So first and second with 2 outs for Justin Orloff. First pitch he sees, misses just away. And it is 1-0. Cleanup spot, looking to do more damage, add to that KU tally. A nice pitch there from Johannes. Catches that outer half of the plate. Evens it up 1-1. Hardy hack there. Comes up empty. And Orloff is in protect mode with 2 strikes and 2 outs. And this one is a fastball. Blew it right by him for the strikeout. That'll end the inning. A couple of runs for KU. They take the lead in the 5th. On to the 6th. 2-1 Jayhawks. Ready to go, north half of the 6th inning. This is Peyton McMillan batting in that cleanup spot for the Creighton right fielder. And the Blue Jays are looking to respond after a 2 spot in the bottom of the 5th from KU. And they now trail by 1. And first pitch to McMillan is low.
It was a big bottom half of the 5th for the Jayhawks there. Got bases loaded twice and scored twice.
And I don't want to get too far. I don't want to jinx anything, but I will say this is my first game this season, and it's so far been really just a night and day difference from what we saw last year. It seems they've figured out a lot of their troubles, and the free bases and the walks really put a stranglehold on them and reflected heavily on their record.
Absolutely, and it no free passes on balls, I should say, but there has been one hit by pitch. But McGovern, other than that, has not allowed a free pass today. He's got allowed 3 hits, struck out 3 so far.
He battles back here to fill the count 3-2, and apart from a couple of miscues, I would say that your defense has played well enough to win you the game. Nice double play ended the biggest threat for Creighton last inning. This one's fouled back, but last inning Creighton had 2 runners, the 8 and the 9, get on from errors, and they ended up moving all the way up 2nd and 3rd with nobody out. They only gave up 1, so any situation, I think you're coming out ahead. Foul tip into the catcher's glove, and McGovern has another strikeout.
Another big K. That's 4. As I just said, he had 3, now he has 4.
Math.
That is how
Math
that
101
works.
with Mason and AJ.
It's cooking along.
Now it's Drew Oleshko in that 5 spot, center fielder. Lined out to the third baseman on that hot shot last time. Now he punches this one into the netting. 1-1.
That was quite a hot shot to Usalis over there on third, but not hot enough to get past him,
Maybe he cooled it down.
some would say.
Some would say. Another one in his direction, but not close. It's foul, but certainly he's thinking about it. He'll go over there and grab that ricochet, flip it up to the Creighton dugout, get us a new ball. 1-2. Another chopper his way. It's again foul. He's out in front of it. In my humble opinion, you don't give him anything hard here. You keep it the same way. Only off speed. Unless it's a fastball maybe towards his chin. Not toward it, but chin high.
Get him to chase on a high fastball. I'd agree.
Gets his sign. 1-2. It is high, and it is at his chin, and it's a fastball. And maybe, just maybe, we seem to know what we're talking about. You know, not to pat ourselves on the back,
But it was exactly what we said was going to happen.
but we might be the best.
The people are talking.
And he comes back with a breaking ball. This time, Oleshko's way out in front, and that is another punchy 5 on the day for the McGovernor.
5th K today, 2nd of the inning. First 2 guys have gone down swinging. See if Creighton can get it going here with 2 outs.
That was the lefty Drew Powers, and he powers this one right up the middle into center field. And so no 1-2-3 inning. AJ gives me a look. Had to do it there. I mean,
Perfect usage of the name. I gotta tip my cap to you.
I'm impressed I was able to come up with that fast. It just flows sometimes. Flow state, peak flow state.
There you go.
So a man on first, 2 down for Brady Schmidt. I can assure you we're not going to have a name pun here. I don't know what I can do with that. But nonetheless, he watches a breaking ball, bend in there, strike one.
Open stance here from Schmidt. No batting gloves as well.
Foul this one into Marshall, and he'll looks to be all right. Gives a nod. He says he's good.
Thought that one might have caught his upper shoulder almost. His traps, I believe some would say, and the gear's there. That's what it's there for.
I don't think I haven't caught since my freshman year of high school. But that chest protector, it doesn't really do as much as you would expect. It's thin. You got to have your mobility, and I think you sometimes maybe sacrifice protection for mobility and comfort.
Absolutely, I would definitely say the leg guards are doing more protection in the chest, but much different parts of the body.
Runner goes. Marshall fires down. The throw is in time. No. Hang on. The second base umpire says he dropped the ball. He's pointing at the ground saying he wasn't able to hang on.
Tough call for the umpire. It looked like I believe the ball did beat him, but heat of the moment, ump calls out, reverses the call after clarifying and says the ball hit the ground. I believe is what that signal means. He was pointing towards the ground multiple times, and I believe that's what that means.
That was the signal I give. Sometimes you put your hands together and move them, say like, he didn't have it. But no, the throw, he was dead to rights. But unfortunately, can't hang on, so now a runner in scoring position instead of the inning over.
So 2 stolen bases today, I believe, for Creighton.
A lucky break gives Creighton a second chance at life in this 6th inning. This one's on the ground to the right side, and it's a base hit. And now the throw is in, and they got him! An absolute hose from Alex Raylene makes up for the play at second, and I thought he was going to score, but I was dead wrong. An absolute laser beam coming in from right field. So a hit, but no runs, and it's still 2-1 KU. What a play. Ready to go here in the 6th. This first pitch is fouled back into the catcher's mask. Maybe caught the umpire on its way. And score is still 2-1 after a brilliant throw by Raylene to cut down the potential tying run in the top of the 6th. So still 2-1 KU. And it's Adam Jordan. Shout out AJ putting his pen on the lineup card where I need to be looking.
Gotta give you the help where I can give it.
So much better having somebody else with you. I did it by myself a couple of times, and sometimes I was lost. So it's a huge help. This one is a fastball and a heater at that, and Jordan goes down swinging for out number 1.
Just like his previous at bat where he went down looking, gets angry at himself and takes it out on the bat.
So now it goes to the center fielder, Greenfield. A lot of field. He fouls this one straight back.
Johannes now with 8 Ks in the ball game, mowing him down.
Maybe a little foreshadowing, but I see a potential perfect name pun coming here. If we get the chance, as Greenfield watches this one fly high past him. Leave it for the birds, they say. The 1-1, and this one's on the ground to second. And Greenfield kind of slowed up running those bases and does not find any Greenfield in the outfield this time.
Very nice, very nice.
But I do feel like he slowed up. I think if he would have kept his head down and just burned it down, he might have beat the throw. That is not the case, and Johannes is dealing here in the 6th. First pitch is a strike. And it's Keelan Tunnel. Walked his last time. A walk and a strikeout. He's quickly down 0-2 from Green. Now he grounds this one up the middle. Soft. Shortstop over. Fields fires across. That will end the inning. 1-2-3 go. The Jayhawks to the 7th. Same score. 2-1. They lead it. The beginning of the 7th inning here in Kansas City. It still is the McGovernor and maybe Lenexa. I wouldn't quite say Kansas City, but not in Lawrence and not in Topeka where we normally are at Bettis. And tomorrow is the same. We'll be here at 3-2. And Elijah Guffey, first baseman, will lead it off for the Jays. They came close to tying the game the last inning, but came up just short on that play from right. Guffey leaves this one away. And our advanced stats from club baseball tell us that we don't know the pitch count. Sky high pop up over that right side of the infield. And Orloff is the one who makes the grab. So 1 away.
That one was, in my opinion, pretty low for a pop fly. Not too great a contact there. No, normally, sometimes you'll see a pop flies in the infield get pretty high, but that one was.
So you don't think it was sky high?
I don't think
Just regular
so.
high.
I think it was just. I just think regular high.
We got the sun over there though, so it's still not easy.
Yeah.
Not guaranteed.
Wind looks like it's ripping a little bit, especially in the outfield. Got the Kansas State flag and the United States of America flag.
Little foul ball behind us.
Flags give us a good idea of how the wind is blowing. Also, the windscreen on the outfield wall in center field and right field shows us a little bit when the wind is whipping at its hardest.
Using our highly advanced club baseball resources. 0-1 is once again fouled back. We are directly behind home plate, and the sun is directly behind us and starting to cast some shadows from the canopies, the overhangs on the bleachers on either side of us.
It's a nice complex we got here in Lenexa, Kansas.
Leaves this one away at 1-2, and kind of reminds me of Milwaukee. If you've seen a Brewers game, kind of at this time of day, where the roof will cast some weird shadows, especially between the mound and the batter. And I don't know how you expect to be able to hit that. It just doesn't, when you have the ball coming 95 miles an hour straight at you from moving in and out of the shadows. Not ideal. Called in the 7th.
You'd be correct. That is the 6th strikeout of the day. Former Governor still pumping in the 7th inning. 2 outs, 2/3 of the way through the 7th.
I pride myself in my math skills. Pretty good at counting.
There you go. Learn it at a young age.
Nobody on, 2 down for Bentley. Leading it off on the order, not here obviously, there's already 2 down, but first pitch he sees is down the middle for strike 1 called. Now a breaking ball just doesn't quite break enough, misses a little bit north of that strike zone.
McGovern seems to be, I don't want to say losing his spinner, but as of course, as I say it, he lands one for a strike, but he has begun to leave some up and not getting fully down and around the slider, curveball, whatever you want to call it. He's in and out with those.
That was right on cue though. Starting to talk down on him, and he says, "Watch this, I'll break it off."
Of course, it's always how pitchers get tired. You start to leave the off speeds high. Could get dangerous, but no damage because of that so far.
The 2-2 way outside and fills the count 3-2. I'm not sure if you're an MLB The Show guy, but you might say, if you are, that maybe McGovern doesn't have break outlier on his card.
Correct. That is what it seems.
This one's foul.
It was a tough play over there for Orloff, going back, wind whipping towards the field of play, kept that ball in play and not going into the bullpen, but wasn't able to make it, tried to turn, flailed himself onto the ground, wasn't able to make the play, just off the glove.
Kind of an odd looking play. Overran it and tried to overcorrect and just couldn't quite get there. Payoff pitch. Misses just up and just away, close, but not close enough according to the umpire, and so a 2-out walk for Bentley. And now he will hand it off to John Frost.
I believe the stat is 2-out walks, score 30% of the time. That might be a leadoff walk kind of stat, but
Runner goes. The throw from Marshall is, wow. They said he was safe. I don't know.
I would have to say, from my vantage point, it looked like he tagged him a little too high up on the hip when the foot was already safely in bag. But of course, I don't have the greatest view being so far back here.
It was a good looking throw. Maybe you are right. Maybe it did bounce just a little bit too high, throwing off the timing just that much enough. So man in scoring position. This one's in the air, left center field. Ranging over is Greenfield, and he makes the grab. Maybe the best contact we've seen all day. Greenfield says no.
What a catch.
Stretch time. 2-1 KU. Ready to go in the bottom of the 7th. Still the same pitcher, Johannes. So for now, both pitchers have made it to the 7th. We'll see if he can make it through. He still has that velocity, and that one just barely misses outside, but no signs of slowing down so far for Johannes. From the windup, the pitch, low, 2-0. If you're new here, our batteries were not charged from the J School, and when we finally did get them charged, this one's on the ground to second. Easy play. And that is how the start of the 7th inning goes. When we finally did get our cameras working, the sun was really just not helpful. Really at all.
I'd agree with that statement.
Gave us a window of what we could see, and that window was nothing. So completely pointless of having the camera. So we're doing it radio style. First pitch from Johannes misses low. Maybe if the catcher would have caught it, it would have been a strike. I don't know.
Looked like the home plate umpire was going to signal, but did not.
Sometimes you see that, especially at the higher levels, where even if it is a strike and the catcher doesn't hang on, it's ruled a ball, unless it's really obvious.
Absolutely.
That one's a strike. I can't say I've ever done that, but the highest level I've ever umpired was 8th grade. And so I really never saw that too much, but I'd always just give it to him. Two to Charlie Marshall.
Wind seems to be picking up a little bit more now.
And the Kansas catcher skies this one to fairly middle of right field, and that is McMillan, who is parked under it and puts the squeeze on it. 2 down in the bottom of the 7th. Back up top of the order is Grant O'Doherty. He walked, grounded out, and flew out to right field his last time up. He watches this one break just high.
Looks like Kansas has an arm up and moving in the bullpen. It looks to be Eli Greenwald to be the first reliever of Owen McGovern.
He called strike. He punches this one towards that bullpen, hits the light pole, and bounces back in. I've never seen that. Maybe I have, but I don't remember the last time I saw that.
It's a rare sight to see.
Hear that ping of the light poles, always cool sound. 1-2 in the dirt.
I believe I heard some barking from the Jayhawk dugout. Did not know Jayhawks could bark.
2-2. Called strike 3. It's a drop third strike. Doesn't even bother to run. They put the tag on him. That ends the inning. After 7, 2-1 KU. Back at it for the 8th inning, and it is still the McGovernor on the mound. KU needs 6 more outs to secure the victory, and they lead it 2-1. First pitch for McGovern misses away. And this is Carter Galante, the left fielder. Grounded into that double play that ended the inning his last time. He takes a called strike 1. His first trip, he had a single. That was way back in the first inning. Reached on an error, and then obviously the ground ball double play last time.
I will say I am quite surprised McGovern is still in this one. He entered this inning at 110 pitches
Wow.
and starts up the 8th.
Technically, he is the manager of this team, but he's also, obviously, as we see, on the mound. So I don't really know how that works. Who's deciding when he gets pulled?
Calling his own number. He's done well so far. Only one run allowed, and it wasn't an earned run. Granted, his error was one of the errors that extended the inning, but
This one's lined back into center field, and a leadoff single for Galante. And I do see somebody standing at that top step of the KU dugout.
appears that is Eli Greenwald, who we talked about last inning, was warming up in the pen.
Nothing yet.
Granted, there is approximately 5 or 6 Jayhawks standing at the top of the dugout. Only one on the top step, though. It appears it's Greenwald. We'll see.
I brought this up between innings. That is Eli Greenwald, not to be confused with Eli Greenfield. On the ground to short, 6, 4, and 3. And after the single, the next pitch is a ground ball double play turned by O'Doherty and Jordan and on to Orloff. So as quickly as Creighton had something brewing, they have nothing brewing with 2 outs now.
It's a great way to kill the momentum. A leadoff single by Galante starts the momentum for Creighton, and it's killed by the Jayhawk defense.
Now Drew Oleshko standing in. He struck out swing his last chance. 0 for 3 on the day. The 1-0 yanked down that left field line. Hooking. It's fair and it's gone. This game is tied. I see somebody in left field pointing. It looks like Maul, and he says, I don't know if that ball, where it landed, or if it was fair.
I will say I caught a soundbite from the Kansas catcher, Charlie Marshall. He said that was an awful call. Lots of words going back and forth from Kansas and the home plate umpire. That one looked... I didn't think that one was getting out.
Well, hang on, because they're saying that it didn't leave. And McGovern can't believe it. Neither can Marshall. My field of view is kind of cut off by the cages and the bullpen out in left field. And as it stands, it's going to be a home run for Oleshko that ties the game. A weird sequence. He hit it really high. I didn't think it had the distance, and you can't see where the line was. The pole didn't help. Nonetheless, it's 2-2. Now a pop up to the left side. The shortstop O'Doherty is over, makes the grab in shallow left field. So after the double play, a 2-out solo shot ties it from Oleshko to the bottom of the 8th, 2-2. Kind of butchered the dinger call because I didn't know what happened.
I didn't think it was getting out.
No, I thought it was way too
I
high.
thought that was either going to be a foul ball or a fly out. That was crazy. He went like this, and then he didn't even give a home run call either.
No, well, he
just
pointed
went
and
fair.
then he was like, but it was almost like he almost like let them like tell him like, oh yeah, it's home run. Like
Yeah.
they sold it. But
They sold it well. Where's the?
No, it's not. It's the same guy.
Wow. Where'd my phone go? Somebody was calling me then. I think it was my sister. Yeah, I'll know when the inning starts.
Illinois and Iowa tied at halftime.
Really? Dude,
I really hope Iowa loses. I'm not gonna
Iowa's
lie.
winning. Me too, but wow. Iowa's making some waves. Where we at?
My roommates are both Iowa fans, so it's just not good. Uh-oh, I didn't mute myself that time. No incriminating evidence, I don't think, so we're fine. Bottom of the 8th. 2-2, and standing in is Zach Mall, the left fielder who just watched one land supposedly over the fence. I don't know if I believe that still. Nonetheless.
Definitely a tough call from our vantage point, and it looked like the Kansas catcher, Charlie Marshall, was in disagreement of the home plate umpire was standing right behind him when he made the home run call, which was a home run call of all time.
This one's low, and it's a 1-2 count.
Johannes' 104th pitch on that one.
It's honestly insane to me, and obviously club baseball is a little bit different, but I feel like at some point you're trying to save arms, but what do I know? Because both pitchers are over 105 now. This one's punched right to third off the glove and into left field. That was Schmidt. Couldn't hang on, and it's a leadoff single in the bottom of the 8th.
I also gave that one a single. It went right off Schmidt's glove. He had to jump in the air, so I'm going to give that one an extraordinary effort. I would say the scorer's decision on that one would be a single to lead off the inning.
First pitch misses inside, and he really did punch that one over to the hot corner. That one was sizzling, so I think I would agree with the base hit. Called strike, evens it up 1-1.
Yeah, it was a nice oppo hit by the lefty. Stayed inside the ball, drove it down the left field line.
Other news in the sports world, Iowa and Illinois in March Madness. Pick move was close. Creighton thought they had him, but the umpire throws his hands safe. As I was saying, Creighton and Illinois are tied at halftime in the March Madness world. My Royals still looking for their first run of the season, tied 0-0 in the 4th down in Atlanta. And in our game, Alex Raylene is ahead 2-1. Another pick play. And Mall is back in safely. But in our sports world here in 3-2, it is 2-2 in the 8th. Runner goes. Double clutch from the catcher, and that's going to cost him. The throw is late. Zach Mall rips off second base.
It's
In
a
a
great
3-1 count, sorry.
It's a great, what should I say, aggressive take.
Now a walk on 5 pitches.
I was going to say a great aggressive take of second base by Mall after 2 pickoffs that were pretty close. But then the stolen base honestly doesn't even really matter, as the next pitch would have moved him over to second either way.
First and second, nobody out for the cleanup spot. Orloff, the first baseman. First pitch hacking, and this one's back into the netting.
Spinner by Johannes there caught a lot of the plate up in the zone. Orlov just under it. Goes back into the right towards the Kansas fans.
This one, he wears this one inside on his shoulder. That will load the bases in the 8th.
It looks like the infield coming to a meeting here on the mound as Johannes has loaded the bases.
one misses. 1-0.
After 112 pitches, Creighton's going to opt to keep Johannes in. Swing and a miss.
This one misses, and it's 2-1 with the bases loaded. Johannes asks where that was. Umpire points down. He says just a little bit low.
Infield in here.
Called strike, evens it 2-2. Full count. Somebody says, "Come on, Blue," and they feel that their pitcher is being squeezed over on that Creighton side. Payoff pitch with nowhere to put him. Line to the left side, it gets through. 1 run will score. The second run is being waved in home. The throw is not in time. It misses, goes back to the screen, and it's a 2-run single. They advance on the throw. KU gets 2. They lead it 4-2.
Big hit there. Big hit there from Adam Jordan, the second baseman. He 0 for 3 on the day with 2 strikeouts going into the at-bat. Gets the 2 RBI single. Advances to second on the throw.
I apologize if anybody heard that. We had some version of a blank "yeah" come from that KU dugout. Rightfully so. Hopefully you didn't hear that. In the air, center field. Orloff tags. They will wave him home. The throw is to third. Both runners tag. Orloff scores. And another one for KU. 5-2.
Greenfield there, giving the Jayhawks some insurance on the sac fly to center field. Things are going Kansas's way.
Standing in is number 24, Keelan Tunnel, watches this one go high. And here is where I just have to say it. Is another ball from Johannes. I don't understand. I don't understand why we haven't changed our pitchers on either side. You've got guys over 120 now, I would assume. But, you get 3 runs in, and still no change. As Tunnel swings through this one, it's 2-1. I just don't understand. I don't see the point in leaving a guy out there for that long.
I agree, and I'm also very confused. He's at 123 pitches, giving up 5 runs, and still in there.
This one's on the ground to the right side. Throw comes home, and they got him. So the catcher threw the ball. So they get the play at the plate. But I think Frost lost count of how many outs there were. He looked like he was running to the dugout going to score.
There were no outs.
Bad news is that is number 1. So you still need 2 more. Looking for a ground ball, and he gets that, but this one's pulled foul down that left side.
Yeah, quite the confusing play. Frost thought there was 3 outs. That was the first out they got this inning. It's been a long one, but not over yet.
Little chopper back to the mound. They go to first the short way, and we were wrong.
Piers, we were wrong, not Frost.
It's the second E12 of the day, so there were 2 outs. 3 runs on the board for KU on the bottom of the 8th. 5-2 to the 9th. Maybe we'll see if we can get a pitching change or a closer. So finally, it took us 8 innings. It's the top of the ninth, and we have our first pitching change to tell you about. And this is Eli Greenwald, and he's looking to shut it down, and he's hoping, just like everybody else in his dugout, that this is the last inning of the game. KU with 3 in the bottom of the 8th to take a charge. And the first pitch from Greenwald is in there for strike 1.
Appears to be quite the velocity change here for the Jayhawks. It's trying to slow Creighton down.
This one's a little flare out towards right. Raylene is there. 1 up, 1 away here in the 9th.
We go to Creighton, their starting pitcher, as Owen McGovern's day for Kansas is done. We'll go to Creighton's starting pitcher. Went 8 innings, 4 hits, 5 runs allowed, although only 3 were earned, 3 walks, and 9 strikeouts to end his day. We
Not
assume.
too shabby. Greenwald misses wide. My roommate is watching this stream, the Iowa fan. He heard me say that I hope they lose, and he's making fun of me again that they beat Nebraska. And he was asking me how that ended up, and I'll say it was very sad, but thankfully I get to jump on the Illinois bandwagon for at least a day and hope that they win, because I do not want to see Iowa succeed. That is the Nebraska-Iowa rivalry. 3-0 from Greenwald. Taking all the way, and this one is in there for a strike.
As we've said earlier, Greenwald replaced starter Owen McGovern for Kansas.
He's not taking the bat off his shoulder. He's looking for a walk, tried to throw the bat. Umpire brings him back, and the count is full. He swings through this one, and he struck him out.
Batter there.
Throws the bat in disgust.
Sure did. Elijah Guffey not happy about the swing in the dirt.
So this is the 9-hole Charlie Schleg, and he represents the last chance for the Blue Jays. And Greenwald is looking to lock down game 1 of this series right here. First offering, strike 1.
Slow changeup. Finds the center of the plate there. It's kind of freezing the Creighton hitters.
You mentioned it. You're right on. It's a big change, and that's tough to adjust this late. This one's lined down the right field line. It's fair.
Right as we say something. Schleg gets the hit down the right field line, pulls the slow changeup, gets Creighton their first base runner of the inning.
It appears I'm getting a bunch of notifications about this basketball game, so something's going on apparently. We will see later. Greenwald's first offering to the top man, Bentley, is a ball away. Man on first with 2 down. This one's chopped towards the left side. It's the shortstop who fires across, and it's low into the dirt again, going to the fence. So another chance for KU to end it. And they can't close it down yet. And that's O'Doherty. He's had a couple of tough breaks over there. And you really just hope for him and for the team that doesn't cost them. Now it's the catcher, Frost. Takes this one over the heart of the plate for strike 1.
As I mentioned earlier, the starter Owen McGovern went 8 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs allowed, only 1 was earned, 1 walk.
Half swing in the eyes of the umpire is a full swing. And Frost is down to his final strike.
See if Greenwald can get one here. McGovern had 6 strikeouts.
The 0-2 in the dirt. Good chase pitch, but Frost won't bite.
Low changeup there in the dirt. It got Elijah Guffey to go down swinging. 2 batters to go. Didn't work on Frost here.
1-2. Sliced out of play towards the street. And we are out of baseballs, so if this one gets fouled out, we will have a little bit of a delay. So the 1-2. It's in the dirt again.
Going back to the changeup in the dirt, which I'm not sure if I can call it a changeup unless he's throwing all changeups. Doesn't seem like he's thrown a pitch much faster, but nonetheless.
It is not intentional if you take it as a knock. 2-2. He struck him out. Called strike 3. That is the ball game. Greenwald enraged in excitement as he shouts into his glove. KU takes game 1 of this series by a final score of 5-2.
Eli Greenwald, 2 strikeouts, 1 hit allowed in his 1 inning of relief to get the save for Kansas. Fans giving 34 some praise.
And a heck of a game it was. That'll do it for number 1 of the series. Final score 5-2 for the Jayhawks. We will see you tomorrow morning at the same place, 10:30 or 10 a.m. and 12:30. That will be Luke and myself on the call. AJ, it was a good one.
Absolutely, partner. Thanks for having me.
Glad we got to be here. I think that's all I have to say. Jayhawks take game 1. We will see you tomorrow night. Tomorrow morning.